They thought my house was theirs. They opened doors without knocking. They rifled through drawers that weren't theirs to touch. They even dared to open my father's urn. But when you violate someone's home, you awaken a side of them you'll wish you never met. If you've ever had a neighbor, a landlord, or even family cross the line and invade your space, hit that like button, because this story will remind you that sometimes the best revenge is patient, calculated, and absolutely unforgettable. It started like this. My husband's family weren't just our neighbors. They were also our landlords. At first, it seemed convenient. Rent was low. We felt like maybe, just maybe, we'd found stability. But what looked like security quickly turned into a prison made of familiarity and entitlement. They came into our house as if it were theirs. No knocking, no permission. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes late at night. Imagine sitting on your couch, exhausted from work, when the front door creaks open, and in walks your in-law, inspecting your shelves like you're the intruder. I remember gripping my coffee mug so tightly one morning that my knuckles turned white. My heart raced. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream, "This is my home. Get out!" But fear held me back. Fear of drama. Fear of retaliation. Fear of being kicked out. It wasn't just the constant entering. It was what they did once inside. They'd open drawers, peek inside boxes, move things around. I knew because I'd place items carefully. And hours later, they'd be disturbed. But the worst moment, the one that burned into my memory, was when I discovered they had opened my father's urn. My father left too soon. His ashes, sacred, placed on a shelf for peace. And they had touched it. I opened it, as if his memory meant nothing. That's when the anger stopped being just annoyance. It became rage. Then came the threats. One evening, over dinner, my husband's family looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Maybe you shouldn't be here. Maybe this marriage isn't worth the trouble. We could make you leave." My fork froze halfway to my mouth. My ears rang. My husband clenched his fists under the table. They couldn't legally evict us, but they wanted to scare me. They wanted me to feel powerless in my own home. And for a while, it worked. But everyone has a limit. For me, it came when I walked into the living room one day and found them going through my son's backpack. That was it. No more hesitation. No more silence. I whispered to myself, if they want to play games, I'll play smarter. I didn't want anything illegal. I didn't want police reports. Not yet. What I wanted was control. To remind them that this house, this life, wasn't theirs. So I started small. Every time they moved something, I'd set it back in its place with notes they couldn't ignore. Notes like, "I see you," or private. I placed harmless but annoying traps, motion sensor lights inside the house, so when they crept in uninvited, they were blasted with brightness like intruders caught in a spotlight. Tiny bells on doors they thought was silent, and cameras. Oh yes, cameras. Hidden, cheap, but effective. The first time they saw themselves on playback. Barging in, snooping, their faces went pale. But I didn't stop there. One afternoon, I deliberately left a stack of fake legal documents on the kitchen counter, stamped with red letters. Evidence. I sat back, watching on the camera as they came in, saw the papers, and froze. The panic in their eyes was priceless. They knew they'd crossed lines they couldn't defend. Next, I invited them over, but on my terms. I sat them down, calmly slid my phone across the table, and hit play. On the screen, footage of them walking in unannounced, footage of them opening drawers, footage of them touching the urn. The room went silent. You could hear every tick of the clock. Their faces drained of color. For the first time, I saw fear in their eyes. And that's when I turned the tables. I told them plainly, "This is my home. If you walk in again without permission, I won't hesitate to press charges." Family or not, their jaws tightened. They wanted to argue, but they couldn't. The evidence was undeniable. For once, they were powerless. And the look on their faces, the realization that their control had crumbled, was the sweetest satisfaction I've ever felt. From that day on, they never entered without knocking. They never touched our things again, and when they passed me in the hall, they lowered their eyes, because deep down they knew I'd beaten them at their own game. Some people only learn respect when it's forced upon them. My in-laws thought they could walk through my life like it was theirs. But in the end, I reminded them, respect isn't given freely to bullies. It's demanded and defended. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, have you ever had someone invade your space? And how did you fight back? Don't forget to subscribe for more true revenge stories that prove one thing. When people cross the line, karma always finds a way back.